So the last book we read was a little bit about how we can enjoy rocks and what rocks mean to us. But now this is about the science of rocks. So I'm going to teach you the 3 different rock types and the processes of how those rock types were created. So scientists have taken the time to classify the different rock types to make them easier to study, and they've broken them down into how they were created in nature. So the 3 rock types are kind of bigger words for our friends that might be just starting to read. So I'm going to break it down into igneous rock, metamorphic rock, and sedimentary. So for some of my friends who are just learning to read, I'm going to say them slower. So we have igneous, we have metamorphic, and we have sedimentary rocks. And so each of these rocks has a unique process and they each have unique examples. So we are going to go through each of those rocks. We're going to start with the igneous rocks. So igneous rocks were created when magma cools and solidifies. So more specifically, what this means is the atoms and the molecules of the minerals that are located in the magma were rearranged, and as they rearranged, they started to cool, and as they cooled, they started to form together, and they grew together into some different rock forms. And so some examples we have today, I have 3 examples, but there are many examples of igneous rock, but we're going to start with granite. So granite was created, like I said, when magma is heated and cooled, and when those minerals kind of solidified and hardened together. And so this piece of granite needs to contain 25% quartz, but this specific piece of granite here is really cool because you can see the quartz, which is the white, but you can also see striping of some of a different mineral called mica. So this shiny stuff right here is mica. So this is some examples of granite right here. And granite is typically used to create tiling and countertops. So some of you may actually have granite countertops in your homes or your bathrooms. So granite is used a lot in housewares and different things like that. Our next example is a really beautiful rock known as obsidian. And obsidian is known as volcanic glass. So this is when the volcanic magma cooled rapidly and didn't form any crystals with it. So you get this product of obsidian. Obsidian, when broken, has really sharp edges on it. So it was a really good rock to use for Native Americans when they were creating sharp points. So this is obsidian right here. It's a fairly large chunk of obsidian. And then I have 2 smaller chunks of obsidian as well. So that's obsidian. And the last one I have is basalt, and this is also created when magma is cooled. However, it's cooled slower, so it has some indentations on it. It's this light gray color. So this is basalt right here. So the 3 examples of igneous rock I have are granite, obsidian, and basalt. The next group of rocks I have are really an interesting group of rocks. Remember the word metamorphic right here, the word metamorphic. So metamorphic rocks. In Latin, metamorphic means to change shape. And so we usually use the word metamorphosis when talking about butterflies and talking about frogs. However, metamorphic is used in science to talk about changing shape. And so how metamorphic rocks are created are when their parent rocks chemical makeup are changed some way, either by intense heat, really extreme heat, or extreme pressure or friction. And so some examples of metamorphic rock I have are marble. So this is a chunk of marble. Marble is also used in homeware things like countertops and different things like that. So this is marble. And marble's parent rock is limestone. So when limestone is either under intense pressure or intense heat, it changes form into marble. So the next one I have is quartzite right here. So quartzite is made up of the mineral quartz. However, its parent material is sandstone. So when sandstone is put under intense heat or pressure, the end product is our metamorphic rock of quartzite. So our last rock is gneiss, and gneiss is created either when its parent rock of granite or schist are put under intense heat or pressure, and so we get this end product of gneiss. So our three examples of metamorphic rock are marble, quartzite, and gneiss. So remember, metamorphic means to change shape, and these rocks were created when their parent rocks changed shape. So whether that's limestone, sandstone, or granite, this was the end product. And so our last group of rocks is our sedimentary rocks. And sedimentary rocks are created when the sediment is compressed over time, over a long period of time. So our sedimentary rocks contain our really cool things that we enjoy seeing, like our fossils, evidence of dinosaur footprints, things of that nature. So we're going to go over a few of those. So limestone typically holds a lot of our invertebrate species fossils, so our corals, sometimes you find seashells in our limestone right here. So this is an example of limestone sedimentary rock. Like I said, this happens when the sediments are compressed over time together and they form together. So that's limestone. Our next example is sandstone. We have a lot of sandstone in Iowa and all over the nation. So sandstone is created, like I said, when sediments are compressed over time, and they are usually located along active bodies of water, so you can find them where rivers once were or rivers are currently. You can find evidence of ripple marks in it, so just like waves on rocks were created when waves hit it. You can also find dinosaur footprints in them, as well as other fossils. So limestone and sandstone are really good for showing evidence of our prehistoric animals that once lived here and telling the story of our past. Another example of shale is shale. And shale is created when silt, which is really fine soil particles, or clay particles are fused together over time and compressed. So it's a really fine formed stone because the particles that create it are so fine. However, the opposite kind of shale would be a conglomerate. Conglomerates are usually created with gravel-sized particles of, so you can see here, this almost looks like a lot of different rocks were fused together, because essentially that's what it is. So that's conglomerate. So just as a recap, our three types of rock are igneous, and examples of those are going to be granite, obsidian, and basalt. We have metamorphic rocks. Some examples of those are going to be marble, quartzite, and gneiss. And we also have sedimentary rocks. Some phenomenal examples of that are going to be limestone, sandstone, shale, and conglomerate rocks. And sedimentary rocks are where we're able to find our fossils and footprints of different prehistoric animals. Before we get done with this video, I want to thank Eric Eckberg with the Grand Junction PLM for sending me all these wonderful examples and always being a willing resource to help with education all the way in Dickinson County, Iowa. So we want to thank Eric for this great example so I could put this video together, and we also are using them for some other educational things. Thank you and have a great day.